said they weren't supposed to be here when we do it.
Yeah, it's true. Most of them supposed to be here.
What is plug-in version maybe unsafe to use? Well, ooh, this will be fun.
Maybe we should just refer all this stuff.
Also, you gonna have Facebook?
Yeah, I have it open,
Excellent.
but I don't know where the chat goes.
It's just there'll be like a post that's the live video.
All right.
Basically, I can't juggle that many windows and talk at the same time, so
Why is there a random button?
I was just wondering the same thing. Like a random button for character creation is just like the easy way for so you don't have to make judgment calls.
Now we can detail.
Are you trying to make the most garish possible outfit? Are you trying to make my eyes bleed?
No, it's beautiful. It's gonna be annoying. And pressing my push to talk makes it so it interacts with the Unity window.
Oh, that's awkward.
Okay, no, it doesn't like. I guess I probably should.
We probably should what?
Trying to figure out what key I can use to put my pushy talk on that isn't used to speak Unity.
Mouse bind, 4 or 5.
I don't have 4 or 5 on this one.
Oh, awkward. Um,
Alright, I put it on my middle mouse button. Seems fine.
okay, yeah. You don't normally use middle mouse button for like it's just like camera controls and whatnot in Unity, right? Mostly.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Okay, probably give it like another 2 minutes for more people to filter in, but yeah, we're going to be talking about new skill system, complete reworks, and yeah, it's going to be great. New skill system is going to be awesome and different, and well, should not have some of the same problems we have with the existing ones. Also, we can see Craig do show off dev tools. Well, that's a little funky.
It's just taking a bit.
How wait? You made like a couple million blocks? Was that theoretically?
Lots. Many blocks. It's beautiful.
Spontaneously generated butterflies, always. One second, it looks like the Facebook post has the wrong title again. Let me fix that real quick. So we're taking a look at the upcoming skill system. Okay, so we got that. You got your world pretty much set up. Do you need to do much more?
It should be fine. Just hope it's not broken because I was changing stuff on it like just 5 minutes ago. But it should be good.
This is what we mean by, I guess, very active development. Okay, well, we've got a few viewers. So it's 5 minutes after 3. Why don't we sort of get started? One sec. Okay, there we go. So why don't you tell us... Okay, well, first of all, let's welcome everybody. Today is Friday. We're doing another dev stream in a very noisy office, and today we're going to be looking at the changes to the skill system that we've got planned for the near-ish future. Craig, so why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've got planned?
Alright, so the brief overview, well, I guess, I don't know, you want to start with why we're doing this, or do you want to just talk about what it is, or what?
We start with why. That's good. Why do you think the system needs overhauling in the first place? Is an important place to start.
Okay, well, so one of the issues we're trying to solve with this system is to basically solve the problem of players not wanting to play, in that they would acquire the skills and then wait for their skill points to accrue before actually taking part in whatever the skill they unlocked did. So, like, for instance, players would take, like, carpentry, but then before they would actually do anything carpentry related, they felt required to put the skill points into, like, their efficiency skills and stuff to get them up to the max level before they would actually, like, do anything carpentry related. Because doing stuff earlier on before you had those skills would mean, like, a loss in efficiency. And since the only way of gaining those skills was essentially to wait for your skill points, which was just tied to food and housing, that's what they did. They would just log in, eat their food, and then leave. So we're trying to address that with these changes. And also, like, the efficiency and speed skills in general are kind of like, I don't want to say, like, I guess they are like leftover from like previous iterations of the skill system. Before we had these specializations, we put in the efficiency and the speed skills to, like, encourage people to specialize, but we once we added the specialization system, they weren't as necessary, but they were still in the game. So I guess this change will remove. It doesn't necessarily remove them; it just changes them.
Sure. So we're sort of bringing them up to date with the other content we've been adding.
Yeah. So I guess the main change now is that when you gain specialization, all right, should we just go into everything that's changed now?
Go for it.
All right. So that is kind of annoying when I middle click. It closes the UI. Okay. Well, give me a second because I gotta change my keybind again.
Whoops, sorry. Small technical difficulties.
What if I put myself on just voice activity? You get a bunch of background noise, but I'm going to be talking most of the time
We're
anyways,
probably gonna get a little
Okay,
bit.
can you hear me fine?
I can hear you fine.
You can hear me fine? Okay, I'm on voice activity now, so let me know if there's too much background noise. It's on. Or if you stop being able to hear me. Okay. So the new change is that instead of gaining skill points, I mean, you still gain skill points in the same way that you've always gained skill points, which essentially boils down to eating proper food and having a nice house. So, like, I mean, for example, right now mine's 20, but that's just because that's the base, and then I have 0 for housing because I don't really have a house. But I can eat this bread, and it still goes up. You still see this plus 52, which is your skill points per day, although we are kind of going to relabel that. In fact, it's reflected in some of the tooltips. But anyways, we can look at the nutrition thing, and it tells us. So I've tentatively renamed this profession experience, but that might change. Essentially, you're going to gain points up to levels in which you gain a single point to put into a specialization. So whereas before specializations were costed a certain amount of skill points, that's still true, but now you can think of it kind of like an experience bar. So like your first specialization will take like 20, and the next one will take 50, and at those points you can pick a new specialization to get. So at the start of the game I have 1.
So it's all about getting access to new areas, not improving the ones that you have already at this point.
Yeah, at least that's how the nutrition is going to work. And so if I look at this tooltip right now, obviously this tooltip is not final. It says I will get my next progression point in 0.2 days, and I have 3 out of 10. And since I'm getting 52 a day, you can kind of guess how fast that will go. So now, when you open up your skills panel, you can see all the professions. They're laid out identical to how they were before. It's like carpentry, chef, whatever. So I decided I want to be a carpenter. And the specializations are also still the same. So we still have hewing, logging, lumber, etc. And right now I just have them all showing. But so let's say I decide I want hewing. So I go to hewing, and right now this UI is getting changed, but I'll just learn it. It'll tell me learning this will use 1 of my 1 progression points, and it will also lower my specialty experience gain. But I still only have 1; it just keeps the same. So now when you learn specializations, you'll have this entirely separate UI, which I guess I should explain how that's going to work. But anyway, so now as soon as I skill this, which is hewing, I have a 50% bonus to cutting logs. And I won't have to assign any points to that. So as soon as I've decided, hey, I'm going to specialize in this thing, you get a large bonus to it. And you don't have to think like, oh, I now have to like invest points later into it. That's just not how it works anymore. I guess I didn't show how much things cost before, but I can hover over these things and it says, oh, hewing 1 decreases log cost by 50%.
Right on.
So the thing about specialties now is that they still do level up. So, but instead of putting like your skill points into them, they level up through using them. So, for instance, this one says like it decreases log by 50, and next level is 55%. So as I hew logs, my bonuses will increase. So instead of waiting to get better at hewing logs, you now have to hew logs to get better at hewing logs. Sort of like one of the concerns we had with this was that it would stop players who like can't play as much, because now this introduces like the sort of, oh, you need to like level up your skills by doing them. But the range in which these benefits are a lot like more squished, whereas before it was like 20% to 80, it's now 50 to 80. So hopefully that offsets that. The other thing to help with that is that as I acquire more specialties, let me just give myself some skill points here. So as I acquire more specialties, the rate at which I gain experience in the specialties will decrease. And the rate at which you gain specialties, or experience in the specialties, sorry, the terminology is confusing because it's not locked down at all. So when I say profession, I mean like, when I say specialty, I mean the things you've spent a point in to unlock. So, and those level up through their own experience. And that experience is multiplied by your nutrition. So having a better diet, or having a nicer house, or some combination of the two will increase the rate at which you level up your profession. So like, say I'm a hewer and I want to level up my hewing faster to get to the maximum cap, I can make a nicer house or eat better food, and it will go up faster. The other influence on that is the number of specialties you have. So if I have, right now I have one specialty, and I have a 2.6 times multiplier for experience. That's just because I ate some bread, and bread's pretty good. So let's take another one. Let's say I want a log as well to go with that. So now it says I will use one of my 4 special. I gave myself a bunch of points. So and my gain will go from 2.6 to 1.3. So it's a pretty significant drop. This is mostly to help people catch up, because if you just join a new server and you pick up one of the new specializations, you can catch up to the people who have like spent more time on the server, because you'll have a higher gain multiplier, hopefully, because you'll have less specialties. This is sort of normalized by getting new food, so throughout the game you'll probably have a specialty experience multiplier of about 1. That's kind of how it's balanced right now. But newer players might have a higher one. So those will just go down. And yep.
So Evas was asking, so how will this work with skill points per action or craft? Currently my server runs off action and craft for about 7% of our skill gain. And then, yeah.
Yeah, so it's basically as it is now, skill point, well, okay, in the first place, skill point per craft and skill point per action were not, they were added because people wanted them. And they weren't ever like, I don't want to say, I mean, skill points per action is just like heavily abusable, so I'm not even, yeah. But those are now sort of integrated into the experience, in that you get your specialty and then you'll get experience within those specific specialties for doing those actions. So like I have hewing or whatever, or logging. So by cutting down a tree, I'll gain experience for cutting down trees. It doesn't give me overall experience, so I won't get any more specialties by cutting down trees. I'll just get experience related to cutting down trees. But those options will still be in the game. So I guess if you want people to unlock specializations faster by doing actions, that'll still exist. But it was never part of our...
And so just to be clear, there's not going to be any way to get better at cutting down trees other than cutting down trees. Is that correct?
Yeah. So if you don't cut down trees, you'll never gain any skill in cutting down trees. You'll just have you'll have the bonus, the default bonus for logging. It's 14% calorie consumption and 40% damage. But if you cut down a bunch of trees. Like I don't know if I can actually cut down enough trees here for it to make a difference. But eventually I will level up. And then I will become better at cutting down trees. Although I guess if I have a chainsaw, I don't really need to be better at cutting down trees.
That's a whole different issue.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the same with all of the crafting professions. Like, so in order to get better at making hewn logs, you have to hew logs. If you want to get better at cooking, you gotta cook food. There is no other way in the game to do that. You can't spend your skill points like that anymore. Your skill points are exclusively for unlocking new specializations.
Are there any worries about a new player coming to an established server not being able to sell the things that they make? If you want to like specialize in furniture and there's someone at max efficiency, it would presumably you'd have to make a lot of furniture before you could be competitive. And if you can't sell it in the meantime, that's just like a lot of furniture sitting around.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, I'll answer that in a second. But I just want to point out that I did level up to logging too. We should have something in the game to make that more obvious, but for now it did happen. We obviously have to go through and balance the rates at which experience is gained through certain actions. As far as new players, I'm sort of hoping that the specialty experience gain. So like if you join a new server or an old server as a new player, and you come in and you want to like make chairs, and there's like 2 other people on the server who've been making chairs for a while. If they've been on the server for a while, chances are they have multiple specializations. Like, I don't know, they make chairs and they make lumber. And you as a new player coming in, you decide you want to make chairs just because. So you take hewing as your specialization and you start making chairs. Because you only have that one specialization, your multiplier will be higher, so you should be able to get up to maximum efficiency faster basically. I mean, chances are they're already at max, but you should have that opportunity to get up there at a quicker rate than they did originally, which should bring you up to speed faster. That's the only real catch-up mechanic that's in there right now. But that should apply to basically every profession for a new player.
Excellent. So, is there anything else about the new skill system that's going to be interesting?
Oh yeah. So we do have a plan to introduce what we're gonna call talents. Basically so right now there's, just because of how the math worked out, there's 7 levels to every specialization has 7 levels. So the plan is to introduce 3 different tiers of talents to bring the total levels up to 10.
And what are talents going to be?
So the point of talents, well, the goal of the talent system is to basically give the levels up a little bit more meaning. So right now you just get kind of a tiny number advantage. So let's say I like cut down a bunch of trees. Now I'm like, oh yay, now I cut down trees. I do 50% damage instead of 40. It's like those small number changes, while important, are not like super exciting. So the idea behind talents are to a little bit further diversify people who are in the same specializations, and then also give you like sort of things to work towards as you're playing. So none of these are implemented in the game right now. In fact, that's kind of what I'm going to be doing next. But some examples are, wait, hold up, I totally have a document for this. Let's see if I can find it real quick.
Yeah, well, Craig's pulling it up, just checking the chat. But yeah, so it's what are the people saying? So, Eva, I'm sorry, I'm gonna mingle the name Everus. Everus is saying it's literally directed at the type of game I play, have set up to be active and playing. Yeah, so that's, again, we want people to be playing. We don't want people to be just sort of log in, eat food, wait for skills to level up.
Okay.
Okay, got your skills.
We got. Okay, so
talents.
for examples, for like if say I have the gathering specialization, so I've decided to focus on gathering, whether or not you're farming or not. So an example of the talents there would be picking natural resources gives more resources, or picking planted resources gives more. And so when you pick these talents, it's not you can get both. You have to pick one or the other. So in this instance, you would be determining whether or not you wanted to go around and harvest stuff from the natural environment or pick planted ones. There's some more extreme ones. For logging, we have Uh, axes just basically critting, removing tree debris costing less. Uh, for mining, we have no large rock chunks anymore.
That seems really nice.
Yeah, I mean that's something I wanted in anyways. So, but there's a lot of stuff like that. For crafting professions, we have some that make tables operate faster when they're alone versus operate faster when they're with tables of a similar type. So picking those would kind of determine either you would pick those determined by how you built or how you want to build. So say you decide like, oh, I would rather have like a small house with like each room individually tailored to like this is my milling room and I have like a mill. Then maybe you want to take one that's just like, hey, now when my mill is by itself in its nice room, it goes a lot faster. Versus I would like to have 7 mills all in an array, so you take the talent that just makes them go faster when it's with similar crafting tables. So we're kind of trying to make them so that they kind of either are informed by the way you play or slightly change the way you play.
Okay, and also this is slightly off topics, but Mercs. For seeds, yeah, we are working on more seeds and things for trees. So that's something that we'll have coming up soon. Farming system, I'm not sure about. So soon.
We can actually, I can talk about the.
Oh, please do.
Seeds. So, we're planning on changing it so that trees will drop their own type of debris. So when I cut down this fir tree, it will. I mean, right now it drops like its generic debris that everyone's seen everywhere. It looks like tree debris, but every tree type will have its own debris. So like when I destroy this will have its fir debris. You'll have to pick up this debris instead of like whacking it with your axe and magically turning it into pulp. You're gonna pick it up, and when you pick it up, you're gonna gain whatever tree-specific materials that it would provide. So, for instance, for a tree, you would get fir seeds, and then you would also get the actual debris, which you then have to take and process down into something else if you want to, or you can just store it somewhere and let it rot. So that's the plan for seeds, and that'll be applied to every tree. So that includes, so you don't have to jump around on top of like these cedar trees and like cut their branches off like you were doing before. This is also kind of a weird way to get seeds in the first place.
Yeah, not intuitive.
Yeah.
So I guess we've sort of covered most of the skill system. Are there any going to be new skills or new areas that we're going to add skills that we haven't had existing ones?
I don't think there's anything major coming on that front. I'm hoping cutting edge cooking will get in. I mean, it's been in the game for a long time. There's a couple items associated with it, but there's no actual food in that tier. Yeah, the crops. Okay, so we're changing. I don't really have any solid plans on how farming will change in the future, but it's definitely going to get a look at.
Yeah, Mercs is also saying the farming system for eating crops and such. It's not very intuitive. Also, aqueducts.
Well, I know pipes are coming at some point. Clearing branches on trees. Yes. I mean, the way it works currently is it just, as long as you're reducing the size of the things hitting the ground, it will. So it should still do that. Yeah, I'm not sure about. Not really sure what we're planning for farming yet, but there's definitely going to be something changing there, especially since. Yep.
Yeah.
Will it cost the same? Yes. It's still going to be really expensive to pick up. That's intentional.
Yeah, turns out trees are heavy. Really heavy.
Yeah. Well, the debris, yeah. The debris is also heavy.
Yeah, like...
It's supposed to wreck your calories. Yeah. Remember, it's optional. You don't have to clean up yourself. You can just leave it scattered everywhere.
It'll be fine. It'll be totally fine. Or you can pass laws and pay people. You know. What a lot of shows I've noticed have been doing is either finding people for chopping down trees and then paying them, or finding them if they chop down trees down their property or something similar. How high is your tree killing level right now?
Haven't really killed that many more. It's still 2.
So I still do not quite. Oh,
Yeah, so right here, I mean, this bar is actually supposed to indicate it. I mean, I just broke this, but there's, I mean, I guess you can kind of see them here. Ignore these icons, they're 100% placeholder. But there are supposed to be icons to tell you what you're getting at these levels. And there are here. This bar does move up. But yeah, like I said, it's not. But yeah, I'm still level 2. And I think, I mean, the rate at which you gain experience is definitely, right now, it's pretty high. I guess there is the worry that, like, if you make it too low, people are just going to entire world trying to level up their logging. But
yeah. And that's because there's no other way to get points. It's going to be interesting to balance that.
yeah.
Does anyone in chat have questions? Because we've been getting a few, but I think we've mostly covered what we came here to talk about. So I think like if we're just sort of here to hang out for a little bit and answer questions, and then we'll probably call it because today is Friday. And yeah, happy hour calls.
Oh yeah, that does include cactuses. I mean, I don't know if cactuses are still gonna drop wood. In fact, I don't think they are. But
they're just gonna dump water all over. Just be a huge mess.
oh man, dumping water places is not always good.
Oh. Well, turns out it's actually
I mean,
Jell-O.
it's like I don't know. Water could use a look at, but it's hard.
Also, it's wrecking the bit rate because, oh my god, all the animations and textures and transparencies.
I'll just look at the ground.
So Dean to the Shy's got
Oh,
saying,
I mean, we can talk about that.
Yeah,
Party design
go for it.
now, but so I mean, I haven't done anything on the new demographics for a lot of things, but I know there's some stuff. The government, so like the government's gonna be able to own property. There's law things associated with that, stuff like that. I don't know. I know demographic stuff is kind of planned, but I don't know if that's coming at all. And that would just be like grouping people in groups and assigning laws to them.
yeah, no, the government property was a big deal for a few people just because you often want to be able to give, the elected leader the ability to do things and then have that pass. And currently there's not really a way to do that, so that's going to be exciting.
Paying into the treasury.
Indeed. I'm okay saying I think it's found a bug that all lamps are 250 watts except for streetlights, which are 100.
Oh, lamps. Yeah. So you're telling me you want street lamps to cost 250, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean the power requirements on a lot of things are whack, and I mean that's my fault. But yeah, open a bug, unless there's already one open, in which case already.
Yeah.
John, do you know if you can pay into treasuries? Is that something that you're gonna add? You can? Okay. Yes. John is personally going to add the ability to pay into treasuries.
It's official now.
At some point in the future, soon, TM.
Yeah, so and then we've got some good pro and anti-government property mining things. Yeah, that'll be a fun thing for you guys to figure out.
Yeah, there's also like laws that let you seize people's property now. So if you are going to be really hardcore, just don't let anyone place tailings or take everything they own.
So this is sort of looking into the future for content that we haven't released yet, but seizing property is going to be very helpful for enforcing loans that we've added, and I'm going to post a piece on those in a little bit. And also, there's a server who has a very interesting system set up where they back their money with land, basically, and and thus they can give out loans and enforce them by confiscating land if the loans aren't repaid. So adding some of these tools is going to give a little bit of some tools to do judicial punishment for not following things or doing things. And yeah, soon. SLG soon is still faster than Valve soon. Okay, do you have any other questions right now? Or anything else we want to show off? We've got a little bit of other upcoming content.
I'm sure there's some other interesting stuff that could be shown off, but we're in my specific branch. The only thing that's in here is skills.
Cool. Well, I think then we might call this because we've had a good half-an-hour stream, covered the important bits, and yeah, I'd rather have a high-quality short stream than add a bunch of filler. So, unless anyone has any questions in the next 30 seconds or so, I think we'll call it for the day. Oh, Dean Too Shy is saying that they'd love if the engineering skills were separated up a bit more.
Separated up. I mean, we can look into that. So the thing right now with skills is that cooking by far has the most. That's actually been kind of reduced since we did make the first. Oh, you want to like not just be just have the giant stuff. But anyway, so like we did reduce that by making the first level cooking baseline and stuff, but the rest of the skill trees are just in general kind of sparse. As far I'm not sure like we can separate it that far, because I mean I guess we could, but for the most part most of the skill trees, the specializations, like a variety of things, and just road working. I guess road working is a pretty big project, so we could specialize in specifically that, but in the end that only covers like, and it's not even like a full action. That's the thing. Like if the reason why like mining can theoretically stand on its own is because throughout the entire game you're mining, right? But later on when you're building roads, you're not using the road tamper, you're still just creating roads. You like eventually you graduate from using the tamper into like crafting the roads and placing them, but so like right now basic engineering covers that niche. So I mean we could rename it, but just splitting it off is like tamping doesn't really work right now.
There's not a lot of fascinating gameplay involved in putting down road.
I don't know. I'd like putting down roads.
Sure, but like, I mean, what are your talents? Gonna be like put down 2 roads at once, or like auto replace? I mean, like it would be hard to make a full tree, I think, on just placing roads. Maybe we could do it.
Taming and breeding animals is definitely something we want to add. I mean, yeah. I mean, I definitely don't think it's coming soon, but it is something we want.
There's lots of things we'd love to add, but right now we've got to focus on a few things. And right now, things like the skill rework and general optimization, some more trees. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we do. I do plan on integrating items from other professions into other professions, especially cooking. I really want to push other professions being able to input into cooking, because right now as it is, it's pretty one-sided in that relationship. Everybody needs food, but the cooks don't really need any. So I think the later food where we want to require stuff, whether it's like pots and pans from the metal workers or like, I don't know, plastic, stuff like that. That's something that's going to end up happening.
So are we going to make Soylent? You have to get a plastic bottle.
Yeah, you got to get a bottle, blend up mysterious ingredients.
But it's the perfectly balanced food.
New structure machine vehicles. Structure machines vehicles? Are those separate?
I think it's 3 separate things: structures, or machines, or vehicles. Not that I know of.
Yeah, not that I know of right now. We've got a lot more animals stuff coming.
Yeah, we have new critters. Those are going to be great. You'll definitely hear more about those from me.
Painting tunnels. So you want like the drill thing? I'm not sure on the status of any of that stuff right now. Yeah. Yeah, that is definitely something. Yeah, because right now all the trucks, and this also applies to world objects, which is like the kitchen. Once you place it down, it never any updates or anything. So I think that also applies to getting other professions involved with each other. Is having stuff like that in the game, where like you might need new tires for your truck, which would then put some pressure on like whatever rubber production, stuff like that. As opposed to them just being like, oh, now you have a truck, now you never have to worry about it again, except for maybe fueling it sometimes.
Yeah, so I guess so there's going to be a focus in the future of making there'll be less classes where you just sort of do it once and don't care, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. When might we see boats? Boats. I'm not sure when we'll see boats, but hopefully soon.
No, we're probably not going to let you steal the wheels off trucks. That is, you have to.
I don't know if you have permission to somebody's truck. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to take their wheels.
But if you have permission, by definition, you're not stealing.
Yeah, that's true. All right, yeah.
You have a friend who's not very smart if they gave you permission to steal their wheels or take the wheels, but it's not technically stealing. That's on them. And yeah, then you'd probably also be able to take out the doors and the hood, and because yeah, the engines are expensive and hard to build. So like stealing that internal combustion engine would be good.
Yeah.
Exactly, Ego Chop Shop. That's going to be the sequel that we work on. So hey, Golden Dragon, welcome to the party. You missed sort of the bulk of the fun, but we're going to upload a video in a little bit, or you can just watch recordings. What are you doing right now, Craig?
Just powered cart. Yeah, the powered cart is going to be phased out. The powered cart won't exist in a future update at all.
So what's going to replace it, or what's going to?
So the steam truck is replacing the powered cart, and in fact they're both now, but the powered cart is going to get removed. Change it to a bike. I don't know if we're gonna change it to a bike. I think right now it's just gonna go poof, and I know Keegan doesn't really like the art for it. Planning a new use for tailings? Yes. There's definitely and there's been a lot of people who don't like having more tailings, because there's definitely more tailings, but we are planning on ways for you to reuse them. I'm not sure when that's gonna happen, but we're not planning on just leaving them in there as like awful blocks that just exist forever. But how can you dig underneath the truck? Because presumably they parked it in their own property, and then
maybe not.
Maybe their property.
Maybe you have a store so people come to sell things to you, and when
and
they're selling,
you just trapdoor. And so
yeah, exactly.
Yes, slag. Blast furnace. Oh, you said it will be. Yes, the blast furnace will get slag. I don't have any idea how that will be implemented, but it will come out of the blast furnace instead of tailings.
And presumably going to roads and maybe some other stuff. Well, we'll see. We'll see what works out. That's a. EMS is asking if we can make asphalty roads black rather than the color of concrete. That's something we can run by Keegan. Maybe you should. Okay, so Keegan is saying definitely yes.
Yeah, asphalt roads will look better. And if not, you can blame Keegan.
Yes, he promised. Technically on stream.
We have audio evidence.
Contra Pete is saying that they want us to leave Keegan alone so he can just focus on doing diable blocks. I'm not sure where those show up in the roadmap. I might not hold my breath. Diable
You want to
blocks.
be able to color blocks.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of stuff. Don't worry, a lot of stuff is coming. As we touched on earlier, government property and some other similar things will be coming up soon. What are you going to do with these logs, Craig? Like, you're just killing trees.
I'm gonna do something. You gotta build society up.
Oh, so we're in here for the long haul is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
You got your eco-lint, you'll be set for a while.
Yeah, I can win. I've got 15,000 skill. Look, I'm gonna get this next skill point. Look, I already got. Look, 0 days. It's taking me 0 days. I don't have a hammer.
Golden Dragon is asking, what about using tier 1 blocks in late game, i.e. as ingredients?
Using 2 blocks late games is one of the ingredients. Yeah, that definitely could be done. I think that become more important to integrate in the tree with this change specifically, because we want people to get benefits from having that like early hewing. So for sure, that will definitely be a thing.
Is there going to be a general push towards making sure that most skills at least are somewhat relevant later in the game?
Yeah. Obviously, some will be more important than others, but oh look, I got a beautiful room.
Technically, yes.
This room has a bigger volume than one.
Amurx is saying, since the last patch, trees are not as good in pollution reduction as they used to be. Intended or a bug? I thought trees were...
That's intended.
Okay.
So pretty much every single plant got a pollution change. That includes, like, I mean, pretty much every plant got changed. Most of them down, but that's just because of the squish in general. Before, everything was capped, and pretty much everything would hit the capped value. So the actual pollution values on the plants was almost irrelevant. But that got changed, so now everything's... The balance is a lot, like, I don't know, what's the word? Like, delicate. It's a lot more delicate. So if you remove a ton of plants, it might make... Also, cutting down trees releases some CO2. So, you'll see a tiny bit of air pollution early on because of that.
But it shouldn't...
Yeah. And the reason why underwater plants don't reduce CO2 right now is because our underwater biome is, like, super weird. And there's just, like, an insane amount of them everywhere.
And so, like...
So that was kind of like a balance issue, was trying to get them to do things and not just be completely out of control.
Just because with the number, I assume that if they would do CO2, it would make whatever you did on the land kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, so I mean, I messed with putting them in really small values, but in the end, just setting them is fine. So they don't do anything right now. And I mean, you're welcome to tweak the settings on your server if you would like to try other things. And I'm always interested to hear about that.
We both are, yeah.
Yeah.
Fish are not very smart, apparently. Everyone's just saying, I decorate my dock with fish traps, and the fish apparently jump out of the water into my traps. I hear fish traps are very good. This is maybe not how they're intended to be very good, but this is very good. see what else. What else has been interesting going on? Oh yes, something on Tailends, which has been sort of a soft spot for people for a while. There's been a little bit of a bug where we get about twice as many Tailends as expected with the efficiency, and that is something
Alright.
that we're working on.
Well, that's yeah. So that change already went in. I don't know when we'll see a hotfix, but that's actually the problem, which is that like the system doesn't handle partial amounts of tailings really well. Like if you have a recipe that gives you 0.5, it just gives you 1 because like what's 0.5 tailing? Like if you craft, even if you craft 2, it does it 1 at a time. So when it finishes the first one, it's like, oh, here's your iron, and then here's 0.5 tailings, but it doesn't know what 0.5 tailings is, so it just gives you 1. So currently the hotfix change is just it just doubles the recipe, so you can't make 1 iron ingot in the blast furnace right now. We'll probably come up with a better solution to that, but for now that's just how it's gonna be.
Yeah, it should work. Like there's not.
Oh, these are in here. Bet you people do these work?
Oh, hey, that's a thing. Yeah, spoilers.
Oh, they do work. Alright. Well, that's interesting. Let's see if I can.
Yeah, this is something we've been working on for a while because it turns out the animation is hard.
Should I go into third person? Look how perfect that is.
That is really good.
Oh no. Alright, but anyways, these are here. It's beautiful.
And that was just another type of wood block, so those are very easy and accessible, and yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even know these were in this. These are cool. I wonder if there's. Okay, if these aren't in here, then it's my fault.
If what's on in?
The different ladder forms. Oh no, they're here. Alright, cool. So, yeah, I think you can build them out of anything. Oops, I looked at that one. But actually, I don't know if you can. Okay, no. I don't remember what you're allowed to build, but the very minimum logs.
But something to look forward to. This will be. This will make some structures much easier to make.
What'd you say? Yeah, I'm in third person. Oh yeah, I was doing that at the beginning. I guess there's new animations on the character as well.
Oh yeah, we didn't
Wait,
properly show that
got it.
off.
You can see my beautiful handcrafted character here.
My eyes are bleeding right now. These colors are astonishing.
Shirt. It looks fantastic shirt. My belt. Change my shoes. And I guess my hair.
That's a lot less comfortable when you got a hammer in your hand, but that's yeah. More animations. So Everest, yeah. So we need more videos. There's a lot of things to update. So it's working on the game first and keeping things working there. But yeah, we will be producing more video content and new trailers and whatnot in the near future. Can you place climbers as you climb down?
I don't know. Oh no. Okay, well I'm not gonna build a ladder up there. This is gonna take a while. But yeah.
Okay, so I feel like now we've really covered
Yeah.
almost everything we've got coming up. Is there anything else that people have questions about, or that Craig that you've thought of that we've forgotten about and up until now?
Yeah. Somebody did mention that Mason needs more stuff. So I've always been of the opinion Masonry has this problem where it doesn't have enough housing objects, which is true. But I mean that's not something that's super easy to fix. But the problem with wood is that they just don't even have higher tier material. Like wood caps out at lumber, so once you get to lumber, you're just like, oh, now I can make tier lumber for the rest of my life. Whereas stone gets concrete. Um, I guess wood does have the benefit of having those housing objects, but ideally they would both be useful later on.
So at some point,
Yeah, so it's stone bed.
yeah, that's called a coffin. Like, I don't recommend that. Or I guess the slab in the morgue. Like, but these are not great resting places. But so,
Oh man, wait. Do the mount spots work? Sean is sitting in chairs in here.
oh, well, we do have more cool things.
Maybe I don't. That's fine. Sit. Oh oh. Uh, a.
Backpack, the backpack clips a little bit, but you know it's all good. Some people like to squish the backpacks.
Uh oh. Well, there's a little bit of things to be worked out there, but
Yeah. Oh, and this we aren't launched. So we still have time to work on it.
what? No, I don't think so. I just get up and I can move around. Anyways,
Oh, actually,
I was hoping I could get on top of the elk, to be honest.
that's true. Sitting on the elk is very important. Also, this is very important. Do we have more stuffed animals or more variations of the stuffed elk? Like maybe one that uses stone or something, gold. You know?
You want a gold-studded elk?
Yes.
You have to bring that up with the artist.
Okay. Well, we'll get on that.
Yeah, I think we'll probably see some form of stone ladder.
Oh yeah, and saying also more stuff with copper. Yeah, I think copper doesn't have a huge amount of love.
Yeah.
Yeah, mushroks. Yeah, like riding the animals and taming the animals would be is something we want to do, but is not next up on the red map. That guy is very smug.
I'm gonna edit right now. Oh yeah, is that in here too? All right, go show that off.
We're just spoiling all of the upcoming features.
All right. Oh, yes, it does.
Floating room.
Oh, I actually. What's happening? Oh,
Well, this might not be fully implemented.
I may have broken it.
Contributed. It's not.
Well, this does work. I'll just restart.
So it's not. We don't need gold roads. We just need yellow brick roads. They're like
So
gold
you get a
roads.
one to make a stockpile one way for craft tables. So you mean like take out and put into another? I already got my gold statue in the game. Because it's not made of gold. But that dolphin statue.
Dolphin statue's pretty good. Who's got the head on the meteor again?
John. I don't think that's there anymore though.
Is it not? Okay. Thought it was.
So yeah, I guess so right now you can kind of reorder in which your things are there for crafting. So if you want, I mean, most, I guess this, to be fair, this isn't exactly what you need, because I guess there's a lot of times where you would want something to never take first from the thing it's outputting to, but if you put the thing you want outputting to at the top, that's usually good enough, because most things don't use things they output, except for, like, I mean, I guess a bunch of them do, so. Yeah.
Also, Contropedia, or there's Golden Jay was saying, I want one function, import, export, text editing for laws. That would be nice. Yeah.
Alright, okay, I'm gonna press the sleep button, it's totally,
Maybe it's not functioning very well in this.
Oh, wait, it's going.
Oh, it's picking up speed. Okay.
Yeah, it slowly goes faster. Man, I picked a really bad spot. I like put this in the middle of the air, so you like can't even see anything happening. Oh,
Yeah.
right. Oh, I can put that.
Yeah, so
Is there
it's
a
really
chat command
cool,
to turn day off?
except we turned off all of the cool looking features.
Does that work? Should I put it 24? 48? Ah, okay, here we go. There we go. So this is primary for single player, but it does work on multiplayer. Don't know, it's gonna be off by default. Is that the idea? And then if you, yeah. So the main issue with this is on like public servers is that if there's only one person online, they can sleep. So the idea is that it'd be used by like, you know, smaller communities who want this sort of feature in their game. But it's primarily for single player. And you get skill points faster. Like, I mean, I'm getting a ton of them. Yep. Yeah, it's good skill. Weren't you listening to the beginning of the stream, Eric? Alright. Oh, okay, I'm gonna wake up. Oh no, I can't wake up. Okay. Okay. Well, the wake up thing's not currently working correctly, but the sleep does work, so.
Oh, Crazy Pete is saying, yeah, he wants to be a chain where it goes from stone to sand to glass or something, so he doesn't want the sand to go back into the glass stockpile. Or doesn't want backflow.
Yeah. So the thing is that at least in that instance, yeah, that might be kind of hard with only one. Yeah, that might be hard with only like a couple. You could like put them in a line. You could be like stockpile table, stockpile, and then you just make sure that the sand is the middle stockpile is the highest priority for the. So the stone would be on the first stockpile, and then the first masonry table would grind that stone into sand, which would then be priority put into the middle stockpile. And then the second masonry table would take from the middle pile and priority put it into the last one for glass. Or I guess it'd be like a kiln, but you know, you could do that with the current system. I do think being able to specify input output, but how it is now allows that sort of stuff, sort of. Government owned shops. Oh yeah, so since the government, so basically how it works is when you've been elected leader, get out of this crazy. When you've been elected leader, you can choose to act as a government. That means like claiming property becomes government property, and if you like make a shop, it will run directly from the treasury. So you can have government-owned shops that run directly through the treasury. You can have government-owned lands. And that means if somebody else gets elected, they'll be able to use all that stuff as well.
Yeah, Contropedia, Golden Jug is right. So the sleep function is mostly for single player. I think as John was saying, I don't know if it got picked up well. Like this is not going to be enabled by default on public servers. You'd have to like enable it and then still probably vote on it and have everyone opt in. So it's, yeah, we don't. This is just for single player intended.
The functionality isn't there for like if your private server does want that, it should work for that as well. But the intention is not for like you to be able to log into a public server and just like go to sleep, and then everybody wakes up and the meteors hit. and everyone's sad.
Though this is also probably a good reminder to save your servers. Like, things happen, save your servers.
On my land.
So Evis has also got another good question. Then he plans to add the option on my land to let people hunt without giving them full access to my land.
I don't know. I feel like that would be useful. I wonder if you can. I'm not the right person to ask about auth stuff, but
Same.
oh, right, this is unowned. Let me claim this real quick. I guess there's nobody else here. Oh, here. I can give. Oh, look, there is demographics in here. I am a citizen.
Oh, that's true,
Huh.
because you slept. The time has gone by, so you've been here more than 2 hours.
Well, let's see. I was just gonna see if I can. Alright, well, that's interesting. I didn't actually realize these were. But, yeah, I'm not the right person to ask about that. I would assume more complex auth would be nice to have, although I don't think it's being specifically worked on right now. Yeah. Oh, we already did with the government property and
Yeah.
demographics and stuff.
So, so we might get there eventually. Right now, we've got other specific things we're working on, so, you know, how it goes. Evis is saying at the moment they use contracts. So I'm actually sort of curious what sort of contract that looks like to let people hunt on your lands. But so Craig, so what are you working on right now? What is trying to set up?
Oh no, I was just looking at the demographic stuff. It's just not.
Okay.
Fine. Let's see if there's anything else. Just real quick. Plans to capture and breed animals. A farm. I mean, yeah, we've always had plans for animal husbandry and stuff like that. But I don't have I have no idea when that will happen.
Yeah, that's not on the immediate docket of things that we're gonna do. Okay, so I feel like we've covered a lot of things. Unless there's any very pressing questions, I think we should probably wrap up in the next minute or two. Craig, do you have any closing thoughts on things that people should look out for, or things you want to say?
I don't think so. It's gonna be great. Skills gonna be awesome, and if you have feedback once they're out there, I guess I would encourage people to play the staging branch when it gets pushed out for 9.0. And if you do play that, I would love to hear your feedback on skills, and you can just message me directly on Discord. I might not answer immediately, but I will try to answer.
Yeah, and generally poking any of us on Discord. I'm always open on Discord, and or Discord's good. Facebook and Twitter are options, but mostly just focus on Discord.
Oh, so you want to be able to, like, whitelist certain like materials going into specific stockpiles, basically, right? That's what it sounds like. That would be cool. What happened to 8.0? 8.0 is still coming.
Yeah, so adding logic to stockpiles could get really complex, but would also potentially do some really interesting things. So I start playing Factoria with your goods. And yeah, the 8.0 is coming. Yeah. So I guess that's pretty much everything. So thank you everyone for hanging out with us for over an hour of us rambling on about things that you can find in Eco and the upcoming changes. Definitely talked about a few more things than we were planning to at the start, but it's all good. The important thing is skill systems, ladders, and a lot of upcoming little changes. The ladders are important, especially with that animation. Um, cool. Well, thank you for joining us. We will probably be back here next Friday at about the same time, same place. So see everybody next week, and also on Discord because that's where we live. Okay. Good night, everyone.
Bye.